According to the Centre for ADHD Awareness Canada, approximately 5 to 7% of children meet the diagnostic criteria for ADHD. And for any parent who has a child with ADHD, you know this issue can come with its own unique challenges. And one issue that can be particularly challenging is to get your child out the door on time, especially during school days. So today's video will focus on how to develop a game plan to help mornings go a bit smoother. Having 3 children with ADHD myself, hopefully I can add a trick or two that'll help you along the way. For the first step, ensure your child gets a good night's sleep. I know this can be easier said than done, as children with ADHD can find going to sleep boring, and many would rather have a root canal done than go to sleep. And there can be a challenge with children winding down sometimes, as their minds and bodies can stir for hours before they do eventually drift off to sleep. And this can be particularly frustrating for children and for parents, especially when efforts have been made to get to bed at a decent hour. So besides prioritizing a good wind-down routine with your child, my primary recommendation be discuss with your child's physician, nurse practitioner, or pediatrician about giving your child melatonin about 1 hour before bed. Recently, research has shown the benefits of children with ADHD using melatonin to help sleep, regardless of whether they take a stimulant medication to manage symptoms or they don't. When melatonin works well, it can help your child to improve both the quantity and quality of their sleep and save hours of frustrated tossing and turning at night for both children and parents. For our second step, now that your child's had a decent night's sleep and you don't feel like you're attempting to wake the dead, you're probably still going to need a plan to help wake your child up in the morning. If your child's slow to rise or struggles with transitions, in this case, getting out of bed and getting started for the day, I encourage you to go to their room and give them a 15-minute warning about waking up. I'd also open the curtains or turn on at least some light in the room to help cue the reticular activating system that it's time to wake up. And if your child takes a stimulant medication and struggles to wake up, now's the time to give their medication, as this should help them wake up, and it's also help them transition from getting out of bed to doing the next step in their morning routine. And when you return to wake your child up 15 minutes later, ideally have something motivating to help promote their interest in getting out of bed. For example, it could be something they enjoy eating for breakfast, or you can remind them about a fun activity at school or something enjoyable that's happening later in the day. Before leaving their room, ensure they're awake, clear on the next instruction, and have a time frame to execute the instruction. For example, you could say, "I'll see you downstairs in 5 minutes after you get dressed." If getting dressed is likely to create a problem, make sure the clothes are picked out and placed on their dresser the night before. For the third step, it's time to eat breakfast. For starters, if your child takes a stimulant medication, you typically have about a 30-minute window of time before the medication kicks in. And this is important to know because some children experience a temporary loss of appetite as a side effect, so it's crucial that your child starts eating within 30 minutes of taking the medication. Now, in an ideal world, it'd be great to serve a healthy breakfast that includes water for proper hydration, fruits, nuts, and proteins such as eggs or yogurt to support healthy brain functioning. If your child won't eat much in the morning, the goal is to have them graze like a deer, so at least some fuel for energy will help carry them over until their morning snack at school. For the fourth step, it's time to have your child check their morning to-do list. If your child doesn't have a checklist with bullet points for morning tasks and struggles to transition from one task to the next, or forgets what to do, I'd highly suggest creating one. The to-do list could be something as simple as wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, comb hair, brush teeth, pack bags, put on shoes and coat. Feel free to choose the order of the tasks, but ideally keep breakfast near the top of the list. Also, when it comes to the school bag, ideally have this taken care of the night before, as it can save a lot of mayhem in the morning as you discover papers that are stuffed in the bag that need a signature, money that's necessary to participate in a student activity, and so on. The goal is to keep mornings as streamlined as possible for you and your child. The more steps you add, the more transitions are required, which creates more challenges and takes more time. And with each step on the list, set a time limit. You can even set an alarm and encourage your child to keep returning to the list to see what step is next. Now, you'll probably need to make peace with the fact that you'll likely need to initiate many of the tasks on the list and monitor how long each step takes. The goal over time, though, is to be less involved with the process. Still, if you take an all-or-nothing approach with your child and expect them to follow the list and consistently stay on task and on time, this is something that they're currently struggling with, it's likely just to increase feelings of frustration for both of you. Now, in the interim, you want to do your best to remember that your child has challenges with executive functioning, but this will improve over time. And for my fifth and final step, if you need an extra incentive to help your child get out the door on time, consider implementing a token economy system. So what's a token economy system? Simply put, It's putting an incentive in place to help your child get ready on time. For instance, they can earn a check mark for every school morning that they're ready on time. And for every 5 check marks they receive, they can earn a special privilege that you and your child agree on in advance. In this case, a special privilege could be earned about once a week. This would be something reasonable and possibly something you might have even been considering doing anyhow, such as taking your child to a movie or going bowling. The reward is meant to be small, but motivating enough to serve as a positive reminder of why your child should continue to try to do something they may not be that interested in doing at the time. And there are 2 more important factors to consider when creating a token economy system. First, make the check marks or tokens achievable. Otherwise, your child won't persist in trying to earn them. And second, if your child's struggling that morning, don't remove a check mark they've already earned. If they're able to achieve their morning goal, they just didn't earn a check mark for the morning. However, you don't want this to be the case too often. Otherwise, you risk your child losing motivation and the strategy will lose effectiveness. In fact, you might even want to create a short secondary list of tasks they could complete later in the day that will allow them to earn their check mark for the day. So it'll help to keep their motivation level up. So I hope these 5 steps help to get your ADHD child moving in the morning. If you need help implementing these steps, don't hesitate to contact us at Sullivan Associates Clinical Psychology. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.